Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition. So this is my newest Let's Play, and it's a little bit of a change from what you're used to. I know I tend to cover first-person shooters more than anything else. I've been wanting to go back to Dark Souls for a while, and I thought, why not do the trilogy, record it for you guys, see how I get on. I've been partially inspired by Rockhead Rumble's recent playthrough of Dark Souls 3, but I've been wanting to replay the first one for a while, and I haven't played the second one at all, so that's going to be an interesting challenge for me. Played the third one too, but there you go. Just missed out the second one somehow along the line. I think I heard it wasn't as good at the time and decided to skip it. I think that might have been it. So we'll go for name. That's what you all know me as. We'll go for male, although it doesn't really matter if you're female. The class doesn't the sex doesn't play any bearing on anything within the game itself. I'm gonna go for the master key. I'm gonna go for more of a faith build this time round, which is different again from what I'm used to. It's a bit of a challenge for myself. You'll start out by finding a mace relatively soon in the Undead Asylum, along with the talisman. They're going to be of use to us. Go for slim builds. I'm going to be covering some of the lore if I can as well from Vata videos and a few of the lore bits and pieces that I've read. I might miss some out along the line, but I'll do what I can to make it as clear as possible, I guess. I'm going to go for Far East Traveller. I think, let's have a quick look, scan through and just make sure. That guy looks far too happy to be in a Dark Souls game. And that guy looks like the Hood from Thunderbirds. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Far East Traveller. I'm going to go for receding hairline and dark brown hair colour. So here we go, enjoy the intro video.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. The first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty lords peeled apart their stone skins. Witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the age of fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
So here we are in the Undead Asylum, the first area of the game. The character you saw up on the roof there, that threw the body and the key down to us, is Oscar of Astora, or Oscar the Fateless. We'll be coming across him a bit later on, so I'm not going to say too much yet. Those who've already played Dark Souls or seen a Let's Play will know what to expect, but I'll give you a little bit more of a background of him as we get closer. On the right hand side you've got the Stray Demon. Not something that we can or want to take on this time around, but we will be coming back later in the game to take him out. Head straight upstairs. So yeah, as I said earlier on, I'm going to make this probably a playthrough of the Dark Souls trilogy. I haven't played 2, so playing through blind on camera is going to be interesting for me. Maybe not fun, we'll have to wait and see. It depends what sort of bosses I come up against and which ones I struggle against. But I'm going to be playing Dark Souls 1 for a while. I've been wanting to replay the game for quite a while. I hoped it would come up in the Steam sale and it didn't, but fortunately excuse me, fortunately I got a Steam voucher for my birthday, so I put it to good use. Our first bonfire. The word bonfire comes from the medieval term joining bone and fire, and as you can see with this particular bonfire, it is literal in this case. There are very definitely bones in the bonfire. Reason being, the bonfires are kindled from humanity, from human souls. Can't go through that way area. That's how they keep burning, that's how they keep staying alive. From the intro video you will have seen the beginning of the Age of Fire, where the giants rose up with the help of the Lord's Soul and challenged the dragons. Which, gotta say, it's pretty shitty for the dragons. I feel really bad for them. They had a bit of a bad hand, considering they ruled the surface, and then suddenly these giants came up top and absolutely wiped them out. I'll pick that up in a second. Now, if you look up on the roof, you can see the Asylum Demon. He is charged with keeping the undead from escaping the asylum. And he's up on the roof. He is going to jump down at us in a second, and we're going to make a quick exit. We're in no match for him at the moment. And we'll take him on in a little while. Yeah, to start with, the giants had no chance against the dragons. The dragons were immortal, they were unkillable. Seath the Scaleless, one of the few dragons born without the stone scales of immortality, betrayed his own kind as a result, and told Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, of the dragon's weakness, which was the stone scales and lightning. As a result, the giants pierced the scales, and then all hell broke loose. Nito unleashed death and destruction upon them. The Witch of Izalith burned their homes, the arch trees. And the furtive pygmy, well, the furtive pygmy you don't hear a lot about to start with, but he is the keeper of the Dark Soul. He is a character we'll come across later in the game, a guy called Manus. Boss called Manus. We will be doing the DLC, which includes him. And he was the keeper of the Dark Soul, which he shattered after the dragons were done, thus kickstarting humanity, creating humans. When all the dragons were gone, Gwyn, what did he do? He rewarded Seath, gave him a kingdom, a dukedom, and a research facility so that he could research immortality for himself and hopefully become immortal. He also gave him a piece of his soul, the Lord's soul. I have to say, I do feel bad for the dragons. In there, you can see a character, Oscar of Astora again. We will go and see him in just a second. For now, we need to run! Dodge the boulder. You usually miss that one, so I'm quite pleased with myself. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Oscar of Astora's resting place. Up there, you can see a big hole in the ceiling. He has been knocked through into this cell by the Asylum demon, who's also up on the roof. And this is where he breathes his last.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
We don't really have a choice.
I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
All the non-player characters you come across in the game are already undead, and eventually, through losing hope, through losing their goal, they will turn hollow through death after death. And there doesn't seem to be much that can prevent that. We take a few steps out of the cell. We hear him kill himself off before he turns hollow. Farewell, Oscar of Astora. He is arguably the most important character in your quest. Without him, you would never have gotten out of the Undead Asylum, and you would never have gotten the Estus Flask. He is incredibly important. Backstab this guy. I'm going to be practicing my parries and my backstabs a little bit. I am usually pretty terrible at them, so it's going to be an interesting challenge. We'll see how we get on with them, shall we? Here we've got our first talisman. Allow us to cast healing miracles for now, and a bit later on some more powerful ones. I thought I blocked that. That's annoying. There we go, we'll take care of that. We're going to equip the talisman, I think. It's going to be useful for us a bit later down the line, and that will allow us to use some of our miracles, which is that button. Yeah. Again, as I say, getting used to it. Going to be a little bit slow to start with, I'm afraid, and I do apologise. I'm sure I'll pick it up pretty quickly. This is the first proper opponent we could parry. Badly. There we go. That takes care of him. I tended to avoid parrying for the most part. I had trouble reading the attack animations, certainly way back when in the game. But, yeah, I'm sure I'll pick it up again. To start with, we're going to pass into the light. And our first boss battle, the Asylum Demon. I could have sworn I dodged that. Quick sippy. Quick sip of the Estus Flask. Ah! I am so out of practice, it hurts. That's it, you do your butt slam. And we will end this battle. That actually didn't go as badly as I hoped it would. Our first boss is defeated. Farewell to the Asylum Demon. We have some humanity. And we have the key to get the hell out of here. We can still hear the stray demon below us. We will not be taking him on. Not just yet, anyway. I'm not going to use the humanity straight away. Oh, thank you, game. Thank you for your sarcastic response. We've got a useful thing over here. We can't put it to use just yet. But here's where we'll meet Snuggly the Crow. We can trade in certain items to him and get better ones. We'll be coming back to do that later. And with this, we leave the Undead Asylum for the Firelink Shrine.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
And here we are. We have reached the Firelink Shrine and Lordran. We're going to start by leveling up. We're not going to reverse hollow just yet. And I straight away messed it up. There we go. We are going to put up the dexterity level for 1 point, and I think endurance for another, which will give us a little bit more stamina. There we go. And our first task, we have the Crestfallen Knight over here. He doesn't have a name, doesn't seem to have any lore. He just sort of, he's given up on any semblance of his quest, and he is quite happy to just sit here and wait and watch the fires. He's not particularly useful.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
He gives us some help here and there, but generally, yeah, I'm not a fan of him. Once I pick up what I'm going down here to do, I'm liable to kill him and take his souls. They'll come in useful. Down here, we have the Firekeeper of the Firelink Shrine. She is Anastasia of Astora. She is from a village in Astora, and her tongue has been removed, so she cannot say the name, God's name in vain, cannot complain about her duty. When we find some Firekeeper Shrine, Firelink, I can't even get the word out, I'll come back to that. When we find out, we can come back and improve our Estus Flask. And we will be. For now, we are going to put our Master Key to good use. And we're going to head it down into New Londo, I believe. As I say, it has been a year and a half since I played. I've been trying to catch up with all of the lore and remind myself of it. So I do apologise if here and there I'm a little bit forgetful. As I get back into the game, hopefully I'll remember a bit more. Here we are, New Londo. And we're just passing through at this point in time. We don't want to stay. And at these particular, there you go, the New Londo ruins. They are flooded, and we'll explain why later. The Hollows here have no interest in us. They do not want to fight. We are heading this way, into the Valley of the Drakes. Or a bit of a suicide run. I realise we've got a couple of 100 souls left, and that's fine. We are obviously going to lose them when we do this, but we will gain something far stronger for early in the game. I've tried this once before and it didn't go too successfully, so whether we do better this time or not, I don't know. Yep, there it is. This actually did go better. I managed to get the Soul of the Proud Knight, which I was unable to do the first time around. So yeah, okay, it could have gone worse. I'm alright. I'm relatively happy with that. And the reason we went down there to get that was so we could pick up Astora's Straight Sword, which we should already be able to use thanks to putting the points into it earlier. Yes, we can indeed. Good, good. It's a good faith weapon. It'll be a good starting point for us. At least to build up from. So now we are back. We are going to take care of this guy. This guy. And I'm going to miss him entirely because non-player character means he's got no lock on just yet.
Lousy rat. You have some nerve. Maybe crestfallen. I'm not defenseless, you rascal.
No, you aren't defenseless, that is true. Ooh, a little bit off. There we go, got it that time round. Ooh, just missed him. That's good. Oh, no, 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 no. That was just terrible. This is giving you an example of how out of practice with parrying I am. What I'm planning to do with bosses and things like that, where I'm liable to die a number of times, is to show you my first death. And then keep the other ones probably for a little bonus clip at the end. Ah, Jesus. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I was doing a test run earlier on and managed to actually get a perfect parry on him. Basically parried him and parried him and parried him with no trouble at all. There it is. One more order to do it. And that's more like it. Although not quite. Come on. Come on. Attack me. There we go.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
He shouldn't have any impact on us later in the game, passing away now. He will go hollow eventually and we'll have to face him. So one way or the other we had to deal with him. We are going to put another point into Faith, I think. Yeah, we'll go Faith for now. Okay, we're going to explore around a little bit more and pick up a few items, and then we're going to head into the Undead Burg. To start, I think there are a few bits and pieces around. Again, it's been such a long time that it may be... I may be arguing that this is sort of a blind Let's Play, in a way, I suppose. We could go down into the graveyard. We're not going to, but we could. Again, that would be another suicide run. The very first time I played this game with my partner, we made the mistake of going down into the graveyard straight away and we got our asses handed to us. And we couldn't figure out why. We couldn't figure out why we couldn't kill the skeletons or why they wouldn't stay dead. It wasn't until I came back to the game a little bit later on that I twigged why that might have been. We've got a Soul of the Undead up here, useful. We will be going back with the crow up here to the Undead Asylum later in the game. Where, as I say, we'll be coming across Snuggly. And trading some items for some better stuff. Up here, we should find... That's just around the corner here. The next NPC in this area. This is Petrus of Thorland, Way of the White.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thorland. Have you business with us?
Maybe.
If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Talk to him again.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Wow, it's a copper coin. Thank you, Petrus. I guess that's kind of useful,
oh my.
maybe.
You again. Oh, I know. I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods. Now, let me share my miracle.
I'm already a part of the Way
Only
of the White
their ultimate
because of
effectiveness will
starting
be
as a
determined
cleric.
by your efforts and your faith.
In the short term, I cannot really afford any of his miracles. They're quite expensive. We will probably come back here a little bit later on, though. He's got some useful ones here and there. Homeward is definitely one that's worth keeping hold of.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Right, we're going to explore a little bit up here, and then we're going to head to the Undead Berg. I'm having trouble with my words again. Remembered there was an item up here, and I think you can jump across to the roof from a little bit higher up. I also seem to remember being able to drop down here. Yes, I can drop down here. Yeah. Was there something hidden? That's it. Morning Star and Talisman. And Homeward Bones. This is our first clue. I mean, this area is hidden away. You can't see it. It is behind Petrus. This is our first clue that Petrus might not be quite what you think. But for now, some useful stuff for us. I'm going to swap out the canvas talisman for the cloth one, although I don't think it makes much of a difference. It's slightly more powerful. And actually, no, the canvas one scales better. Am I right in thinking that? Yeah, the talisman has less of a starting point, but the canvas one is actually, it scales better. So, okay, we'll keep hold of that. Oh, one more item I forgot here. Cracked red eye orb. Okie dokie. We're not going to really be doing much invading. We might be taking part in a bit of jolly cooperation, building up sunlight medals for later in the game. But that'll be about it. So we're going to very quickly go back and rest at the bonfire, and then we're going to head off. Now, how much do I have in the way of humanity at the moment? 4 at the moment. Okay, I'm going to keep hold of those for now. I'll use one to kindle the bonfire when we get into the Undead Berg. I think that's going to be of use to us. I do want to make sure we've got one equipped. Yeah, we'll unequip that and find ourselves something else. I'm not going to use the souls just yet. Dark Sign. The Dark Sign signifies an accursed undead. Those branded with it are reborn after death, but will one day lose their mind and go hollow. Death triggers the Dark Sign, which returns its bearer to the last bonfire rested at, but at the cost of all humanity and souls. Okay, we had a bit of a weird bug there where my controller stopped working. I'm going to have to look into that and figure out what's going on, but for now we will crack on and see how far we can progress in the next little while. Straight up the stairs, And we should come up against our first enemy, which I completely failed to block against, even on the starting point. Wonderful. As I said earlier, I do sort of run into problems here and there with backstabbing. Sometimes I don't know, maybe I just do poorly with making sure I'm in the right place. It's very strange. Ow. Tried for a parry, failed miserably. Thus, almost death. I may call this prepare to fail, Dark Souls. Let's fail, Dark Souls. Okay, we're gonna try for a jump across here. Now that the enemies have been cleared out, and fail entirely. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's see if we can do that again with a little bit more success. And hopefully you'll see me improve as the game goes on as well. We'll have to see. There we go, that's more like it. That's a bit of a better parry. I'm going to go upstairs and take care of the other ones up here, because I don't particularly want to be firebombed while I'm trying to make a jump. Ah ha ha ha, come on! God's sake. There we go. Alright. Go back downstairs, shall we? If nothing else, I suppose I'm building up my swords for my souls for a level. Rawr. Oh, Titanite shard, that's not bad. There we go, that's better. I made it across this time around. Now very, very carefully going to walk across the rest of the platform. Very, very carefully. And we get ourselves a Ring of Sacrifice, which means if we die with it equipped, also that's a beautiful view. If we die with that equipped, we will restart at the bonfire with all our souls and humanity still intact. Could be useful if we're expecting a suicide run anywhere. And a successful jump back just to save myself the embarrassment. Upstairs we go. I don't know why I've got it in my head that Y is use item. I'm starting to get around that now, I think, but still, I can't. Yeah, it's just stuck in my head somehow. Ah. There we go. I tend to jump the gun a bit. I go too early for the parry and fail it entirely. Hopefully I'll adjust the timing, get it a little bit better off by the end of the game, because it's going to be useful with certain bosses. There's one particular boss who is made an absolute joke if you know how to parry. If being the operative word. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, it's the close quarters in here. It makes it much more difficult to actually hit somebody with a sword. If it was a thrust or something like that, then maybe I should have gone for a strong attack. And yes, I am poisoned, but I'm not going to go back, and I have no way to heal it. So let's crack on and see how far we can get, hopefully not dying in the process. Backstab, bitches! Not sure I'm actually going to get far enough to get up to a bonfire before I get dead. I have no way of clearing the poison. Seriously considering going back. Yeah, relatively easy fight. I say relatively easy, I suppose very easy would be the better term. Traverse the white light. What does this bring us? Yeah, I seriously think I'm gonna have to go back. Yeah, tell you what, we're gonna go do that off camera and then pick it up again when we're a little bit further up the hill. Yeah, so those giant rats are a bitch for poison. Bleeding is one of my more hated status ailments, but poison's not far behind. It's a really annoying ailment. And it's going to be a little while until we get anything worth or anything useful to cure it with. So avoiding it wherever possible is a better idea. This time round we had much more success taking out the rat on the way up the hill. Straight strike with strong attack instead of a swing and a miss did the job much more effectively. Cleared this area out already. There's nothing of use here. Before we head out, we're gonna drop. No, we're gonna drop down there. I think I'm gonna drop down there. Not sure if I can get over there. I might be able to. Certainly looks like I can make a jump. Yep, brilliant. I have no idea where I am. There are certain things that I remember, certain things that I don't. Like I remember where the bosses are, or some of them at least. And let's go and have a look down there. I'm sure there was I'm sure there is a way to slide down that as well. Attempted ambush fails miserably. 3 swings, 4 strikes. And they're all out. There is another guy hidden around here. 2 guys actually. Another fail parry. If you're watching this and cringing, you're not the only ones. I'm cringing too. Way back is going to be... Back up the ladder? Nope, I can get up here, that's good. Already been through here? No, we haven't. Soul of the Undead, excellent, 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 and up the stairs. No. No, in actual fact, we won't be going that way. Oh hum. See. Ooh. Dark Souls was a bit of a weird one for me, actually. My partner and I picked it up, girlfriend and I picked it up when it first came out. She really liked the look of it. She thought it looked really good. And we sort of struggled along until we got as far as the Taurus Demon, who I'm not sure we're going to reach in this episode, probably next one. We struggled along and we failed so much at him, it was just painful. We spent ages on him and just did really, really badly. And we put the game back on the shelf. We didn't play it again for ages, and then Dark Souls 3 was coming out. I knew it was coming out in April of last year, and towards the end of the year I was inspired by another Let's Player somebody who runs or used to help run a local gaming bar called 8-Bit. He did a Dark Souls Let's Play, and it kind of inspired me to try the game again, give it another go. And this time it clicked with me. I still did terribly, I still sucked against the Taurus Demon and died a number of times, but I loved it. I found the game absolutely wonderful. And as a result, went on to play Dark Souls 3. And again, loved it. And I think the only reason I didn't play Dark Souls 2 was because I'd heard it was much worse. It wasn't nearly as good as the first one. I thought I might be able to jump across here, but maybe not. And so I gave it a miss. But I've picked up the Scholar of the First Sin edition, which I've heard... No, I can't get across that. I've heard makes a massive difference to the game itself, so I'm going to give that a go. Now, fuck that. Hellkite Drake. Do not want to get involved with him, not really. It's actually nice to see there are some players still playing the PC version, even though it's not on sale. Right, let's see if I can go up and take care of this guy, because I do not want an archer fucking around while I'm busy. Go away. Swift kick to him and then take care of him. There is a bonfire there. Here, yes, here. Thank you very much. We'll light it, but we will not rest at it. Not yet. Not yet. We've got more things to do. Wooden shield. That's a good point, actually. Am I right in thinking that does block 100% of damage? Toggle display. There we go. No, it blocks 88% of damage. Okay, so the first thing we want to be doing is getting a slightly better shield. To do that, I believe there is a trader this way. Hey! Be drinking that Escus flask, that's my territory. Don't think I was close enough for a backstab there, which is a shame. There we go, hidden behind the crates is a route we can take down. Here he is.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
What are we going to want? We're going to get the orange guidance soapstone. We're not going to get the inventory yet. We don't need the resonance key because we've got the master key. The master key. Tempted by the bow, but I don't think so for now. And I think the heater shield is something that will come of use to us. Physical blocking of 100. Doesn't need much strength to wield it. We'll be picking that up. That will allow us to block all physical damage rather than just most of it. I think that's it for now. Might grab a few firebombs. Here we go. They will come in useful to us later on.
Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. No, don't try attacking. Ignore the game. You should not attack this enemy just yet. You should not attack this trader just yet. The enemy, on the other hand... Just a little bit too late with it then. Timing is everything with parrying, and timing is not my forte. But I do puns. So the next level, or next episode, go. I plan on definitely taking out the Taurus Demon. That's going to be our best stop. among other things. I've got a few plans. Throwing knife, useful. We can drop down to where we were before, but we're not going to. Although, oh, I suppose I could. There we go, that's how we jump across there. Thanks. Good luck for what? Nice, crossbow and bolts. Excellent, that could be of use. Drop down here, gonna take a little bit of health, but it's a faster way than doing it backwards. So we finally got ourselves a heater shield, one of the best shields in the game. As I say, blocks 100% physical, and one of the first things you come across that will. And I think this is where we're going to leave it as we come up to the bonfire. We are going to reverse hollow, and we are going to kindle. One humanity. Two humanity. We'll need one to reverse hollow. And one to kindle the flame. Strengthen the bonfire and give us 10 Estus flasks instead of the 5. And as I said, that's where we're going to leave this particular... Oh, no, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to level up once. Possibly twice. I don't think I've got enough for twice, but maybe once. And we're going to go endurance. Yeah, we'll save the rest of the souls for now. I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. If you have, leave me a comment. I always reply to them, and I always read them. And subscribe if you'd like to stick around for some more. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye now.